Hi, and welcome back to Learning Stuff with Aaron Ross. This is a special holiday episode of the show because it's Thanksgiving time. It's time to be with family and, most importantly, enjoy copious amounts of food. So, therefore, today's episode is all about feasts. Um, Feasting is the crux, I would say, of Thanksgiving. It's the whole point of Thanksgiving. It's the reason why we're gathered around the table. There's usually a beast or a bird of some kind, form, shape, or function that has been roasted, uh, sliced, and served for all of us to enjoy. So, yeah, I guess that's what feasting is. Feasting is just eating birds and well, I guess we'll talk about that today. I am curious, like, what's the craziest thing you've ever eaten in a feast? Um, Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. We're going to be learning about stuff today. That's what we usually do on this channel. That's what we always do on this channel. Learning stuff with Aaron Ross, feasting. Let's go. Um, to kick this off, we're going to have to just go straight into it because it's the holidays. We don't got a lot of time. We don't got a lot of time for this. We don't got a lot of time for that. We just gotta go. All right. So here we are. We're going. All right. Um, and the reason why we're going so fast is because we gotta learn all this stuff. There's so much stuff to learn. All right. So the first thing you can see on the screen is historical images. I literally just did a basic Google search for like what is the origin of feasting, right? And so this picture right here is actually a fragment of a wall painting of a feast from the tomb of Nemamum, Nebamun, 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 Nebamun. I'm just gonna go with Nebamun on that one. From the tomb of Nebamun, Thebes, Egypt, 18th dynasty, circa 1350 BC. That's pretty crazy. So, yeah, clothes were optional at ancient feasts. I don't know if you know that. A lot has changed in the world of feasting in the modern times, but let's get into it. This article is brought to you by ThoughtCo. You don't know anything about them, but they wrote some cool stuff about feasts. So, basic. Feasting is loosely defined as the public consumption of an elaborate meal, often accompanied by entertainment. Is a feature of most ancient and modern societies. All right. Feasting is related to control of food production, is often seen as a medium for social interaction, create prestige, create commonality, community, blah, blah, blah. Goals include, all right, so that's just what feasting is. Nobody cares. We all know what a feast is. A feast is like, no one has to tell you what a feast is. You know when you're at a feast. You know, you can feel it. Earliest accounts. This is what we're here for. The earliest references to feasting in literature date to a Sumerian myth in which the god Enki offers the goddess Inanna some butter cakes and beer. Side note, that is not a feast. That is not a feast. That's a setup. All right, we'll explain. A bronze vessel dating to the Shang dynasty, 1700 to 1046 BC in China, illustrates worshippers offering their ancestors wine, soup, and fresh fruits. Homer, 8th century BC, described several feasts in the Iliad and the Odyssey, including the famous Poseidon feast at Pylos. About AD 1921, the Arabian traveler Ahmad all right, we're struggling with these names. All right, we're struggling with these names because holidays. We're gonna blame that on holidays. Names and holidays, they're difficult. Arabian traveler Ahmad reported a funeral feast including a boat burial at a Viking colony in what is today Russia. So feasting is all over the place. All right, there's no rhyme or reason. It's random. Archaeological evidence of feasting has been found throughout the world. The oldest possible evidence for feasting is at the Natufian site of the Hilazon Tachet Cave, where evidence suggests a feast was conducted at an elderly woman's burial about 12,000 years ago. That's crazy. They still got the red solo cups from that party just permanently frosted into the walls of this cave. 12,000 years ago, imagine how lit that party was. A feast. So awesome that 12,000 years later, we could look at this spot and be like, yo, they had a feast here. That shit's lit. 12,000 years. No one is gonna have a party that's gonna be like 12,000 years. I just want you to know that. No one is gonna be like, they're gonna leave a 12,000 year stain. Because that's what this is. This is a party that's so lit that it left a 12,000 year old stain on planet Earth. That's what it did. All right. I don't even care about the rest of this stuff. All right. So basically, the earliest feasts are coming from the earliest civilizations, Mesopotamia, some old lady's birthday party 12,000 years ago. I mean, like regular stuff, regular stuff. So leave a comment if you want to share anything that you've learned about feasts and why feasts are interesting. Otherwise, we're going to move along with the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all the other things. What was the next thing on the agenda? Oh, so I want to know about the origins of feasts. And then, of course, when you learn about the origins of feasts, you think about like all these ancient feasts, and they had to have been eating like ancient stuff, right? There's no way that you have these ancient feasts going on and you're not eating ancient stuff. So I started to ask myself, what are the most bizarre things that have ever been eaten at a feast, or bizarre things that are part of a traditional feast menu, right? And we actually found 3 things. Well, we Googled it and there was like a whole fucking list. And yeah, I picked the 3 things off the list that just like stood out immediately. It's like, whoa, that's something to talk about. All right. That is definitely something to talk about. So let's get right into it. The most bizarre things you've ever eaten at a feast. Leave a comment below while we look at the most bizarre things that are part of traditional feasts around the world. All right. And for the very first one, we're going to check out Hakarl. All right, we're butchering names this entire episode. That is the theme. That is the theme of this whole episode. We're just gonna butcher all the names because I'm trying really hard, but I have no reference or grounding or anything for some of these words. Hakarl. Okay, Hakarl. All right. Icelandic tradition delicacy of fermented shark. Yes, you heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen. People are eating fermented sharks. I don't know how much National Geographic, Animal Planet, History Channel, or River Monsters you watch, but like fermented shark is a thing, and it's specifically a Icelandic tradition. All right, so let's look into this article. That's a picture of, I guess, that's a very unflattering picture of it. Let's all agree that that's a very unflattering picture. All right. What is hakarl? Long story short, hakarl in Icelandic is a dish of fermented shark. To be exact, it is the meat of the Greenland shark. The Greenland shark is one of the largest shark species and can mostly be found in the North Atlantic Ocean and in the Arctic Ocean. I thought Greenland sharks were supposed to be like super rare. Like, I thought they're like super rare and hard to find. So like when you do eventually find one, they just eat them, apparently. That's horrible. The national dish of Iceland is made by curing the shark meat with a particular fermentation process and hanging it to dry for 4 to 5 months. So it's jerky. It's jerky. There's no other way to consider this. Because if I think about it in any type of way, what is this, like super dry aged? Don't try to compare this to like dry aged wagyu or something like that. Hakarl, or Icelandic fermented shark, can be found in Icelandic supermarkets all year round. Hakarl is served as a delicacy during the midwinter festival of Thorblot. See, once again, this entire episode, we're going to destroy the names. We're destroying all names. We're just running over them with the lawnmower because it's the holidays and we got to get through this content for you so that you can have it. You just wanted it so bad. So look at what we're doing. We're just all right. All right. You might be wondering how and why. Why do we keep saying this? I'm just gonna say fermented shark. How and why fermented shark was first created? After all, who would think to ferment a shark? Let's take a look at the interesting origin story. You don't have to tell me that. You could just do it. All right. Iceland's remote subarctic location creates unfavorable agricultural conditions. Obviously, it's called Iceland. It's not called vegetable land. It's not called fruits land. It's not called prosperous land. It's called Iceland. All right. They knew. They knew. You set up camp. You set up a whole life. You moved to Iceland. Come on. Nobody was just there. You had to go there. Like, come on. In order for food to stay fresh during the winter period, Icelanders had to prepare it in a specific way. Fish and meat were dried, smoked, or salted to keep them fresh for as long as possible. Now that makes sense. We've heard of this historical tradition. That's why I said jerky. Because leaving things to hang up to dry and all this 5 months sounds ridiculous. The unique flavors created by preparing food in this way led to some famous typical dishes in Iceland that still survive today. The Icelandic fermented shark is the most distinctive of these delicacies. You should definitely try during your road trip to Iceland. First of all, who wrote this, bro? Who wrote this? Iceland? Okay. Iceland is surrounded by water on side. Nobody is taking a road trip to Iceland. Okay? I don't know who wrote this. I don't, you know what? This is just like, look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Here we are. Here we are. Learning about Hakaro for you guys. You know what else I have for you guys? Haggis. You got haggis. You know what haggis is? Haggis is organs. Look at this. A dish made from the liver, stomach, or heart of sheep or cows, mixed with onions, oatmeal, and a word that is spelled not like what I'm about to say, but has to be pronounced like this because that's what these letters do. Onion, oatmeal, and sweat before being boiled in the animal stomach. Traditionally, it's then served with turnip and potato mash that is famously known in Scotland as neeps and tatties. I'm done. I'm done. Like, I'm really done, bro. Because we haven't even gotten to the jellied moose nose, exploring Canada's unique culinary heritage. What unique? Who, first of all, you're eating a moose's nose. That's wild, crazy, disrespectful, and disgusting. Second of all, you jellied it? How do you even do that, bro? How do you even... It's a traditional Canadian delicacy that has roots in the culinary practices of Indigenous cultures in the Northwest Canada. Considered a unique dish, it is a testament to the resourcefulness. Who cares, bro? The process involves boiling the moose's nose with ingredients such as onions, garlic, and vinegar until tender. The nose is cooled. The inedible parts like bones and cartilage are removed. This specialty is closely related to head cheese, yet distinct with its North American twist. Nah, with the head cheese. Nah, with the head cheese. Meat is arranged in a loaf pan and submerged into the cooking liquid. The mixture is then refrigerated, allowing the broth to gel and the flavors to meld. The resulting dish, sliced and served cold, might challenge the unaccustomed taste buds, aka is nasty. That's how you say it's nasty. Might challenge the unaccustomed taste buds. I'm sure feces would challenge the unaccustomed taste buds because it's nasty. All right? But offers a slice of Canada's culinary heritage that embraces the country's rich wildlife and long-standing traditions of its Indigenous people. Listen, some traditions gotta go. We can't keep everything with us. Imagine like we're trying to go from one stage in life to the next stage in life. You really gonna carry every single bag from one level to the next? What if you get more bags in the next level? You're going to carry every single bag plus the new bags? Some bags have to be left behind. I'm thinking, no offense to Canada or Canadians or people in Canada who are accustomed to this flavor, but I'm thinking we could let this one go. Jellied moose nose? They said dish steeped in tradition. I don't want to know why. I don't want to know why. Indigenous cultures in northern Canada as well as Alaska has long passed down the tradition of jellied moose nose. Long passed down? Hunting, of course, yeah, okay. And then preparation techniques, and literally the thumbnail is somebody just holding a decapitated moose nose. Like, you can just get those. First of all, you can't just get this. You can't just get this. Oh, and then you have the ingredients for this. Okay, cool. All right, you know what? I'll put the link in the bio. If you want to go home and cook some jellied moose nose, good luck getting the moose nose. Good luck getting the moose nose. But hey, look, it's here. All right, so the last thing I want to look at before we get out of here is looking around at like ancient feasts and stuff, right? Because it's Thanksgiving time, holiday time, Christmas time, so feasting time, right? And I'm looking at all these ancient feasts and all these things where people do things where they eat, and there's a bunch of videos in the stash that I've been waiting to watch just because you're scrolling and you see stuff that's cool and you're like, I don't have time to watch this now, but I should definitely watch this later. And there's this cool video about Aztecs, what Aztecs were eating. Haven't watched the video, but I was looking at the chapters, and there's a whole chapter on turkeys, fowl, and wild game. All right. So, Aztecs, turkeys, all right, Thanksgiving, all right, levels. We're trying to levels, okay? That's where we're at now. We're at levels. You haven't been there, but now you're there because Thanksgiving, turkey, Aztecs, all right? We might even break down the ancient alien connection. But first, let's watch. Let's watch a little bit of this video, and at least this one section. And I'm actually curious to know what the connection is between Aztecs and turkeys. Because Thanksgiving, or at least, yeah.
It was actually the pre-Aztec peoples who lived in the area that is now Mexico between 800 BCE and 200 BCE.
Did you know that? I didn't know that. Maybe I knew that, but I don't remember knowing that. All right.
Peoples who lived in the area that is now Mexico between 800 BCE and 200 BCE that were the first to domesticate turkeys. These early adopters would eat the bird's meat and eggs for protein and even use their feathers for decorative purposes.
Okay. Did not know that. That is really cool. Curious, first to domesticate turkeys in the world? Because that's crazy. Because that's awesome. There it is. We just discovered it. We just discovered the root origins of the turkey at your Thanksgiving dinner. We traced it. We just traced it. Some Aztecs ate them. And then hundreds of years later, they said BC, 800 BC. That's like 1,000 years later. They was eating turkeys like 1,000 years before it was cool. That's actually wild. All right, hold up.
In 200 BCE that were the first to domesticate turkeys. These early adopters would eat the bird's meat and eggs for protein and even use their feathers for decorative purposes. Their Mesoamerican descendants continued the tradition, and the turkeys that we still eat today owe their existence directly to those practices.
That's crazy. That's crazy, especially for, as you can see, a culture that does not know how to draw turkeys at all. I mean, absolute fail. if that's supposed to be a turkey. But like, wow, kudos to the preservation. So essentially, because Aztec domestication of turkeys, they bred the turkey. So we're eating Aztecian descended turkeys. See, told you, ancient aliens is gonna attach to this.
These
Watch.
domesticated turkeys were sources of food alongside their wild brethren, which tended to be smaller and considerably less meaty. Some of these alternate meats the Aztecs also fed on came from deer, peccary, rabbits, jackrabbits, mice, armadillos, snakes, gophers, opossums, and iguanas. These animals.
All right, way to diffuse the entire situation there. I mean, kind of like we're hyped up about the turkey thing, and then you're like, yeah, and then these Aztecs would literally eat anything. He lists the entire animal kingdom as like the other things that they would eat on occasion. That's not helpful.
Once captured, were fattened up in captivity until they were eaten.
All right, well, that's it. That's literally it. We just want to learn about turkeys. We just wanted to learn about Thanksgiving. We just wanted to learn about, I don't even know what we learned about. This has been a very confusing holiday episode of Learning Stuff with Aaron Ross because the holidays. And like I said, we're blaming Thanksgiving, we're blaming turkeys, we're blaming the Aztecs. There's no one who doesn't have blood on their hands. Not in this scenario. Wow.